The week in sports, you have the Red Sox facing the Dodgers in the World Series. The first meeting between them since 1916. Some of you weren't even thought of. Some of your parents weren't even thought of. Some of your grandparents may not have even been thought of in 1916. Plus, shocking news out of the WWE, Roman Reigns leukemia scare. Listen to why we think there are cards on the table that we should definitely look into because, guys, it is the WWE. Before I start, I tip my cap to the Red Sox and the Dodgers and their fans. They're real fans on this week's World Series. But tonight, it's about the rivalry. The best rivalry in sports next to Ohio State and Michigan. We're talking Red Sox, Yankees, and why the Sullys and the Vinnies need to shut their fucking holes. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down, plug in, man up. We're going deep into the rivalry on the Loki and Jabroni Show.
How's everybody doing out there tonight on this special World Series edition Loki and Jabroni show?
I'm tipping my hat right now.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
Sir. Thank you.
Let's teach the Sullys and the Vinnies.
Can I just say though? I mean, you guys had a hell of a season. When two teams break 100 games
in the same
in
division,
same division, that says something right
You're
there.
You're fucking killing me.
It really does.
Here's what I don't get, and we'll get into it as we go deeper into the discussion tonight. How? And I'm just asking Red Sox faithful, feel free to chime in. I've got the gimmick cord right here. We might, if you have an intelligent argument, we might take your call tonight. 860-576-0313 is the number to call. But we have to invite you. How is it that a fan base out of Boston can still say Yankees suck when we're only 8 wins shot? 108 wins, franchise record. Let's be honest. Fucking dream season for Boston. I'm tipping my hat again.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't be more humble at what you accomplished. But when your closest rival, the next best team, had a buck, a clean buck.
That's what I said, man. It was fantastic.
Stop
baseball
it with the Yankees suck bullshit. Unless they're under 500.
They're gonna be chanting "LA sucks" tonight.
You know what? And that's what they should do because you're facing them across the field at Fenway Park tonight. 8:35 start time. World Series Jones.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Excited.
Tell the people who you are.
Totally excited about it. My name is Loki. I'm diehard Sox fan, as y'all can see.
Again, tipping my hat. Fuck.
As always, my partner in crime.
I am Jabroni, the Redneck Adonis, and across the table and in the box where he should be, the one, the only,
Eddie Focus.
Eddie, I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to see that you are effing well this week.
Effing better than you were last week,
yeah,
right?
No shit.
I was effing up.
Yeah, you can say that again.
All right, so I'm going to roll right into this whole "What's on our mind" thing because
let's do it. We
started talking about this before we even came on here. Besides being a Red Sox fan, so a lot of you know I'm a diehard freaking Vikings fan as well. 3 weeks ago, Everson Griffin decided that it'd be a really good idea to go into a house that wasn't his.
This is the start of every Snapped episode ever.
It was also the home of cornerback Trey Waynes, who was also on the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, Jesus.
His girlfriend at the time was not home, thank God. But the police were called, and Everson was found shirtless outside of Trey Wayne's house. We briefly spoke on this, and at that time I said it was what I felt was drug related.
Possibly, you said possibly.
Right when the police picked him up, his whole excuse for him being there was God told him to be there, so he had to be there.
Oh my God!
Just recently, and this is a statement from Rick Spielman. If you guys, obviously, he's GM of the Minnesota Vikings. We have been in communication with Everson's medical professionals throughout the process and relied on his recommendations regarding the appropriate next step for Everson. We are excited to welcome Everson back to the Vikings and see him around his teammates, coaches, and staff, people who care deeply about his well-being. Our focus will continue to be providing an ongoing support system for Everson and his family. Now, backing that up, Everson also says this: being around my teammates, coaches, is something I have missed for several weeks. While this is an exciting and positive move forward for me, it is the only next step in a very much longer process. I look forward to once again being put into the work with these guys and contributing to this team in a way that I can. My larger focus remains addressing my personal health, and I'm hopeful the time will come when I feel comfortable sharing my story and using my platform to bring awareness to these issues. I continue to be extremely grateful for the constant support from my family, my teammates, the Vikings organizations, and our tremendous fan base. Everson Griffin. What do you get from that? Like I said, before we spoke on this, I don't think it's a mental issue because you're not going to let a guy with a mental issue play football. I mean, it's going to contribute.
Jack Lambert played for 15 years.
Before they really started giving a fuck about, concussion protocols and the whole...
Jack Lambert bit was a joke, but I get
No,
what you're
absolutely,
saying.
absolutely. But
it sounds as if the team, the player, and his teammates are actually concerned for his well-being.
Absolutely.
And let's address this. Let's see what's out there. And I look forward to coming back and being amongst my teammates and the general PR position. But it sounds like everybody's on his side.
And let's not candy coat it. Everson Griffin is a nasty defensive end. He's one of the best in the business, and coming back against a very heated rivalry in the Saints. I mean, heck, the Saints are going to want to slap us in the mouth after the Minneapolis Miracle last year, but we're going to want to keep going strong because we're in first place right now.
First of all, fuck the Saints.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
And second of all, let this guy, let me tip this just a little bit. Let this guy heal. And if he does come back, and if it's in time for the Saints, and you smack the shit out of the Saints again, God love you, kid.
Well, that's what I think. I think that's what they're talking about. I think they feel like he's healthy enough to hit the field, which brings me back to the other. Did he get a hold of some peyote and just go running with the wolves, sort of say, and just have a bad trip? I mean,
anything's possible.
No, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the Denver backup quarterback just had a similar issue.
Mm-hmm.
He was literally found in a person he didn't know's house.
Are you smiling? No, first of all, stop. Don't smile. That comment doesn't mean shit, and we'll get to it in a minute. You can stop with the ego gimmick over there. We'll get to that comment in a minute.
Well, I was going to say real quick, the guy ends up walking into a complete stranger's house.
Right.
A lady is there with her freaking baby, and then begins to hit him on the head with an aluminum appendage from a vacuum until he finally leaves the house. Drug related as well, do you think?
Possibly.
They got some good shit in the Midwest over there, huh?
You know what?
My God, that medical shit is off the hook. You got Everson Griffin on the side of God going naked, bucktailed from house to house, and you got this backup quarterback from Denver.
Being a man of faith, I've never once had God tell me to go into someone else's house and do some things. But having said that, we may have to reach out to Tommy Summers and have him send out some of that good shit from Minneapolis because
I'll have to try it, man. Lord. I'm telling you. We have to. Well, I got my med card coming next week.
You're the Vikings fan. You're the final word. Tell us what you think about this.
Like I said, I really believe this is drug related. This is my opinion, and if it is, this is my problem with this. If this is drug related, the NFL is unaware of this. Because a statement would have been made. A statement has not been made from the NFL.
Right.
A statement has only been made by Rick Spielman and by Everson Griffin himself. There has not been a statement made by the NFL. If it is drug related, they do have a process that he has to go through. You can't just say, look, we love having Everson Griffin on this team. Welcome back. No, because if it was drug related, he needs to go through the protocol. He needs to go through this. If he went on a coke binge, you just can't let this guy come back onto the team and be like, no, this is what he needs now.
You have two choices at this point. You have Junior Seau, or you have, the mayor of Middletown has already chimed in, you have Aaron Hernandez Part 2, and I'll take that a step further. Ray Caruth, who just got out of jail, today?
Yeah.
After 18 years? There's just a lot to this that we don't know. We're not going to see. Let it play out.
No, I agree.
I kind of agree with the the mayor's saying. I think they're being overly cautious because of the Hernandez thing. It's left a big stain on the NFL.
Well, no shit.
Because especially
the guy
after
was a
he died,
thug. He was a thug.
Besides all that, like after he died, everything they saw with his brain and everything, what's the first thing to do? They started looking at the NFL like,
But
dude,
and that goes back even to Chris Benoit with the CTE. It goes back to Junior Seau. It goes back to
that's not
Jovan
NFL.
Belcher.
That's not NFL. He played one solid year in the NFL. That's college and that's high school at that point. That messed up his brain at that point.
Then again, he had 4 or 5 years in the NFL, 2 really good ones.
I agree with you, but they're going to look at the big dog.
No, absolutely.
Of course.
No,
because the big dog has
We're going to talk
money.
about the
That's
big
where the
dog
money
in
is.
just a little while. Don't spoil the fucking
So what's
party.
on your mind, man?
Listen, we already mentioned it. This guy is in his glory right now. Tonight is Game 1 of the World Series, and I want to give you a little bit of a tale of the tape going forward. He's in his. There's nothing I can do but tip my hat. Congratulations. Tale of the tape.
Times.
Boston Red Sox versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Again, it's the first time they meet since 1916 when it was the Brooklyn Dodgers and it was the Boston Robins. Am I right?
No, Americans. You guys.
Boston Americans.
No, it was the Brooklyn Robins.
Brooklyn Robins.
And the Americans.
Let me give you the
No, 16? We were the Sox. We were the Sox at 16.
Yes.
We were the Americans in 1901 when you guys were originally the Orioles.
Correct.
And then you changed your name to the Highlanders when you actually broke out the freaking pinstripes.
I thought there could only be one.
No, there was them.
Tale of the tape. We're going to start with the reigning defending American League champion Boston Red Sox. 3-2 in their last 5 World Series. 2013 was a win against St. Louis. 2007 was a win against Colorado. 2004 was a win against St. Louis. 1986 was a loss against the New York Mets. And 1975 was a loss against Cincinnati.
And Buckner had to move.
All he had to do was put his glove on the
because he didn't
ground.
do it, though, he moved. He actually moved to a place that they don't play baseball at all.
Yes. Fucking Montana. The highlight of all 5 of those World Series, in my opinion, you could go back to the Buckner ball. You can go back to the Fisk Armbruster collision in 75. You can go to all of them. The 2004 comeback in the ALCS, which put them in the World Series. The Joe Buck call. As much as I hate Joe Buck, I'll never forget it. Roller to folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. Boston is the champions of baseball. Boom. Yeah. The Los Angeles Dodgers come in their last 5. They're 2-3. They lost last year to the Houston Astros. They won in 1988 against the Oakland Athletics. They won in 1981 against the New York Yankees. They lost in 1978 to the New York Yankees. And they lost in 1977 to the New York Yankees. The highlight of all 5 of those series obviously has to be 1988 pinch hit home run Kirk Gibson on that 3-2 backdoor slider by Dennis Eckersley. Boston comes into this series 108 wins, 54 losses, number 1 in the AL East, number 1 American League team overall. They beat the New York Yankees in the Division Series, and they beat Houston in the Championship Series to get where they are. Los Angeles is 92-71. They're number 1 in the NL West. They are the number 3 team overall in the National League. They beat the putrid, bullshit, cocksucker Atlanta Braves. I'll get more into that later. In the Divisional Series, they beat the Milwaukee Brewers, who, wow, who would have thunk that the Brewers would give them that much of a fight in the Championship Series. While I'm here, and I promised somebody a shout-out.
Game 1. Game 1, it was 8 runs, right? 8-1?
Yeah.
It was. They
the
came
Brewers
firing.
were hot, but they just didn't have enough to close it out.
No.
Burn, if you're out there. Hello, Burn. That's your shout-out. Deal with it. You asked for it for 3 weeks. Here it is. Burn. Say hello to Burn. Burn. Say hello to Burn.
Burn.
Okay.
Bam.
Now, that's what's on my mind. My prediction, because I've had a lot of people come out, not just on Corey's thing, but on Corey Huffnagel, co-host of the C&J Speed Review. Watch that tomorrow night. What do you think of the World Series, Chris? What is it going to be? I'm putting it out here right now, putting my money where my mouth is. Sox in 7. You get to celebrate on your home field like you did in 2013.
Last year.
Those first
last
2. 2004, I wish it would have went 2 more games so you could have celebrated on your field. 2007, you just beat the shit out of the Rockies to the point where I was driving to Vermont in a snowstorm. I was still married. My wife was still pregnant with Emma. And I listened to it as I'm driving through a snowstorm. And I'm like, well, they did it in Colorado. Yay. 2013, it was great to see you guys celebrate on your home field. Nice. But this one's going 7 games. And the winner's going to be the Red Sox. Real quick, we have a message from the mayor. Wade Boggs lived in my home. I was the first Red Sox employee to welcome the asterisk Connecticut. I worked privately for John Henry. My father was in a Red Sox uniform for 11 years. I will go on. Okay, so
I loved Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs is the bomb.
He was
Red Sox, Yankee, Tampa Bay, don't care.
Yeah.
Wade Boggs is Wade. I say it about Pedroia. Dustin Pedroia is Dustin fucking Pedroia. Much like Derek Jeter is Derek fucking Jeter. You cannot hate him.
Right.
And if you hate him, as we go further, when we talk about the rivalry, you're wrong. I don't care who you are.
Dead wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Moving forward. Ed, what's on your mind?
Well, it's
Losing all my breath.
it's Halloween.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It's Halloween, and I haven't seen the film yet, but apparently the Halloween movie is doing really well.
Michael Myers does not kill a kid.
Lame. But anyway,
And supposedly, from a tweet that I heard, he killed the fuck out of a white boy, but let a black kid live.
breaking horror stereotypes. And he let the guy with the red shirt live too. I heard.
And the baby. So
And the baby. But in keeping with this wonderful conversation we're having about sports, apparently there is a certain sports icon that is going to reboot Friday the 13th in the same way that they've just done this Halloween film.
Why am I afraid to ask? Go ahead.
He's currently the GOAT basketball player, LeBron James.
He's not the
Is he
GOAT
really?
anything. Fuck that.
Apparently, I didn't even know this. LeBron James owns a movie studio, Vertigo Entertainment, I guess he's part of it. And he's
got enough money.
Apparently, I don't know if you heard the lawsuit came to a decision.
Yes.
And
you mentioned that.
Yeah, Victor Miller got the rights to the first film.
The first film, right?
But I believe they're trying to appeal. So LeBron James is jumping in like, oh, I'm gonna reboot Friday the 13th. I'm like, I guess you can't do any worse than Michael Bay.
No,
you know?
Absolutely not.
But the funny thing is, Victor Miller only has rights to the first film, and Jason with the hockey mask is not in the first film.
Right.
Doesn't show up till the third film.
He was the kid jumping out of the water.
No, he had a bag. He had a sack. It was Sackhead.
The second one.
Yeah.
Wasn't Sackhead the mom in the first one?
No, the first one was the mom.
The mom killed everybody in the original script.
Right, and then
but
part
Jason
2,
jumps out of the lake.
Right, that's the only appearance of him, and that may or may not have been a dream sequence.
Right, exactly. And then the other one, like I said, Sackhead was 2. So you got our boy Sackhead just running around, and it wasn't until the third one when his iconic hockey mask became
right.
Right.
So
in 3D, no less.
Unless
in lore.
Here's the thing: unless Sean Cunningham says you can do it, I don't see how LeBron can do it, because Sean Cunningham really has the rights to the hockey mask.
Maybe he does the Nintendo special edition purple and green.
Oh, we can hope.
That would be fucking great.
That's all I really got. I just thought it was funny when I read it. Everyone was like going hysterical about between the game and Halloween and everything. And
dude, he's it's third day in LA third game in LA, and he's already surpassed fucking everything Kobe Bryant's ever done. I mean,
I don't know about everything, but
dude, Kobe's never had triple or whatever the fuck
triple double,
whatever the fuck it. Yeah, so whatever LeBron got yesterday was Kobe's never gotten his whole career as a fucking Laker.
Kobe's got 6 rings.
I get that. No, absolutely.
I'm not down, but you know me. Championships don't define a player. I'm the biggest Dan Marino fan there ever is, but I still can't put up. Oh no, he's got 5 rings.
Guys, focus. Mass serial killers.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But you brought up Kobe fucking Bryant.
He is a massive silk.
He brought up Kobe Bryant. I brought up LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, LeBron.
Well, my argument was LeBron is really, if you really do a lot of background checks in his history on him, he's much like you or I. He literally said to himself, "I'm going to become one of the greatest basketball players ever."
He worked his ass
And
off.
when everybody fucking told him, "No, you're shit," he got harder, he got stronger, he got better. You know what I'm saying? His entire career is based off of just him toughening up and becoming that better person. And even the stuff that he gives back. I mean, you know what? He wants to try to make fucking Friday the 13th. Like you said, he can't do
Good luck to him.
I mean, like I said, I mean, like I said, Michael Bay so far has tried to reboot Nightmare on Elm Street, fail. Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
it was all right.
Like all their cookie cutter horror movies.
No, exactly.
Nothing
You
special.
follow a standard blueprint. It's done.
The Friday the 13th reboot, I actually kind of dug a little, but then nothing.
I still have to watch that one. I still literally have to. I watched like a little part of it and I fell asleep to it. But
it has no shame. Lots of boob, lots of sex.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was. No, you told me that. It's like pretty much. Yeah,
it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like I said, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, like I I'm not taking away from any of these guys. I mean, in my honest opinion, I think Scream broke the mold in all fucking horror movies. Like
one of the best.
We were so
brought
used
the slasher
right
movie
exactly.
back.
Well, we were so used to how things were that when they did this, and Drew Barrymore's dead in the first fucking thing, you're like, wow,
they got an A-list star to die in the first 5 minutes.
This is cool, man. Like they brought it back. So I think that the formula's still out there to have a great quote unquote slasher.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just we don't have. I don't think a director good enough to do it yet, man. I don't think.
Well, Wes Craven died. Toby Hooper died.
Yeah.
Those are great. Like Toby Hooper did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Wes Craven obviously is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, who do you really got left in that genre? George Romero passed away. So
Rob Zombie. That's it.
And even Zombie.
I said that to piss you off. I just want you to know.
Here's the thing. You know what the problem with Rob Zombie and he trades like scare for just intensity
and sometimes I want to like too much sex. He just throws
with his wife of all people.
No.
What kind of fetishist are you to like pair your wife up with all these people?
Right?
It's like everyone gets to bang her.
I keep forgetting that is his wife.
He keeps putting her in every movie.
You are.
Actually, he just announced a sequel to the Devil's Rejects.
I saw that. I
thought they all died.
I thought they did too, which is why I'm kind of maybe it's going to be a prequel.
Funny thing, that is the only movie that he actually did I liked.
I was gonna.
I didn't like House of a Thousand Corpses, which was the first one.
No.
And then Devil's Rejects. I'm like,
Tutti fucking fruity.
This is
Tutti fucking fruity.
And I've watched all his other movies since, and obviously both Halloween remakes. The first one was
good.
I'll say acceptable, but again,
that's why I was like, I went good.
Right.
The problem is, and this has been the critique from most people, is when you explain why Michael Myers is the way he is. He's nothing more than any serial killer.
Right, exactly.
The thing before is like this kid just kills his sister. This doctor is like, oh, he's evil. I looked into his eyes and it was black. And I shot him 6 times.
He's pure evil.
Exactly. And then you put the William Shatner mask on him and he's terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. Like we said, the boogeyman, the whole boogeyman theory. He's beyond that. He's evil personified.
Right.
Everyone talks about the boogeyman, but those are the worst fucking movies.
Yeah, they were. Speaking of the worst,
he was the worst WWE superstar too.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Speaking of the worst,
when he ate that thing off of what's her face.
Lillian.
Do you remember?
Hall,
yes,
Jillian Hall.
Yes, dude. Oh my God, that was terrible.
Well, you brought up the worst in WWE. Let's dive in. I'm going to read the following blurb.
Go right ahead.
Leati Joseph Anawai, born May 25th, 1985, is an American professional wrestler and former professional football player. He is part of the Anawai family and is currently signed to WWE, where he performs on the Raw brand under the ring name Roman Reigns. He is currently on hiatus due to an ongoing battle with leukemia. Now, this is where I stop reading that bit. You and I had a fantastic conversation. Ed was involved. I was watching Falcons Giants last night. Rise up. We won.
That was a tight game too.
I'm gonna say this right off the top. I feel bad for Joe Anawai. Okay? If all of this is legit, I feel bad for Joe Anawai, the man, the father, the husband, the brother, the cousin, the uncle, whatever. I'm still of the belief of hashtag fuck Roman Reigns. But if this is true, that man, Joe Anawai, deserves respect and support. But like you brought up during our chat last night, and I will say what you said, and then we're going to walk forward on why we need to look at certain cards that are on the table this smacks of WWE trying to make him the man that they want him to be, that they've tried to do for the last 4 years. Take it away.
So, one of the first things that I did today was really do my homework.
You always
really go around and watch some of these videos. Really look at some of these superstars and stuff like that. The other thing was reading comments. And the first thing I noticed was if anybody said that they felt like this was a story, the hate and the bashing and the slamming that came after that, you're a terrible person. You are the scum of the earth to even believe that they would do something like this.
I caught some of that last night during the halftime. I was dicking around on my phone, and I said, because I was going off of your point, what if this is Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon versus Shawn Michaels and God?
And God!
On a pay-per-view, motherfuckers.
You guys remember that?
LokiandJabroni.com/wrestling. Get the WWE Network right now. First 3 months are free for our listeners only. Fuck you, DDP. And, I'm sorry, Jericho, not DDP. DDP is a wonderful human being.
Yeah. He gives you DDP
Look
yoga.
Up Shawn Michaels and God versus the McMahons.
Not even a joke.
Look up Shawn Michaels. I hate to go back to him, but he's a proponent of it. Hurt my knee. I'm retiring. 3 months later, back in the ring. Go back to some of these injuries where, was it, what were the Harris brothers, Ron and Don, or Bill and whatever, the biker gimmicks?
He
was in WCW, hit a neck injury. He comes out on live TV and says, and I quote, "The neck injury is so bad that if I turn my head a certain way, my head could just fall off my shoulders." Are you fucking... This is professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. It's why we're skeptical. No one is saying that Joe Anoa'i is not suffering from leukemia.
Right.
What we're saying is we are skeptical because it's the WWE. Not only is it WWE, it's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The WWE pours a butt ton of money into Susan G. Komen. Connor the Crusher, same thing. The Warrior thing that they do every year with where they roll
John
out
Cena
somebody.
is the #1 Make-A-Wish granter in ever. The biggest thing I gotta say
Mayor, I'll get to your comment in a minute. You're right.
He comes waltzing down. All you hear is boos.
Oh, yeah.
Hisses, screams, get out, you suck, Roman sucks, Roman sucks.
And what was the first thing he says? My real name is Joe.
I knew right then some shit was going to happen when he was like, my real name is Joe.
I watched that after the football game, and it was right down the road here in Providence, by the way.
Yeah.
And I watched that back, and I said, when he first says, my real name is Joe, I'm like, okay, something, we had already known what the announcement was. I'm like, okay, this might be serious.
Yeah.
The more he went through, and what's selling me on it, and I hate to say it like this, what's selling me on it was Seth Rollins' reaction. But what makes it worse for me that thinks that it's not so serious is, why would you turn his other best friend heel later on that night?
That's what I'm saying. Right, exactly. You're going to make a big deal about them crying, and then at the very end of the match, they're beating the bejesus out of each other. What's his name? Jumps fucking Seth Rollins for crying out loud. Dean Ambrose jumps him.
Yeah.
Show must go on.
The thing that got me...
I don't disagree with that, but then again, a man fell 70 fucking feet to his death, and the show went on. Two
things struck me
it's a
big time last
so
night. Number one,
sometimes.
He embraces Nia Jax, and he goes, look, girl, don't worry about it. You got a show to do. You got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? He hugs her and continues on. The one that got me was Strowman. Braun Strowman is such a rookie at this business. He puts a lot of emotion in his face.
He's still young to this, yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of his emotion is in his face. And when he grabs Roman Reigns, and you could see him talking into Roman's ear, and he was getting a little teary-eyed in the left horn. There's some belief to this, and I'm gonna go with this because, like I said, I don't think they're this dirty. However, and this is just a couple of them. Do you guys remember Katie Vick? Kane supposedly slept with this dead person, and now Kane is a mayor, for fuck's sake. Mae Young gives birth to a hand, to a fucking hand. Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio Jr. have a custody battle
in the ring.
Yes, over the Rey Mysterio's freaking children. Big Boss Man gets hung
You want to go a step
by
further
the Undertaker.
with Boss Man?
Feeds Al Snow his dog.
I was going to go another step further. Big Show's father's funeral. His father had passed away 5 years earlier, but they do an angle where Boss Man chains up the casket and drives it through the cemetery.
Yeah.
It's not above the WWE to put sleaze out there for sleaze's sake. Vince
McMahon kills himself. And not only do networks say it's real,
the New York
Fox,
fucking Times,
WWE.com acknowledged that he was dead as well, just for him to show up 2 days later to surprise.
It was when Chris Benoit whacked his family and says, "Hey, you know what? Tonight was supposed to be about the funeral of my character, but in reality." Boom! Now you broke down the fourth wall.
Right.
To the mayor of Middletown's point, just like Kiss's last tour. Are you talking about the last farewell tour?
Yeah, which one?
You're absolutely right. Oh, there's only one other farewell tour, and I'm still hot about that. But moving on, it's not above the WWE to put like a real life situation as a storyline. I'm trying to remember her name. Cripes. It was a cheap ploy, and at the end, it was all
Lita losing the baby.
Right. Go back to ECW, the Sandman, in a match with the cane, and Tommy Dreamer hits it, and the cigarette goes in his eye.
Yeah.
Probably a little burn, probably like yay big. If Gary, if you're watching, tell me what you think. Had a little burn on his eye, but for a month he stayed at home. He lived the gimmick. He comes to the ring to announce his retirement. His eyes are all patched. Sorry for the microphone hit. And in the middle of it, he tears off the patch. He beats the shit out of Tommy Dreamer with the cane.
Yep.
It's not above professional wrestling to use real life gimmick and drama to forward a performer.
The late great Brian Pillman. What about when he supposedly shot Stone Cold Steve Austin after Stone Cold Steve Austin broke into his house? That's freaking home invasion.
Okay, so
and then Brian Pillman once again, and this is another one. This should drive women crazy. If you want to get on the whole Roman thing, here's one for you. Brian Pillman wins Marlena.
Yep.
And then subsequently makes videos of him physically and mentally abusing her.
And then he dies in the middle of the storyline.
Right, exactly. Like
for real, he died.
What? Yeah, he really did die. This is the only reason why the storyline.
So Lindsay says, "Why watch the crap? It's a lot like why people watch The Walking Dead. It's
entertainment." What we're trying to say is, our point is the WWE is not unknown to do crazy shit like this.
They've sunk to levels lower than this.
And is this low? Ed brought up a good point yesterday. If you turn around and you find out, now, first of all, I think with the outpouring they already got, if this is fake, you better make it known pretty fucking quick that it's fake, because if you drag this on a couple months,
it's only going to get worse.
Right, exactly. And you turn out that it's a storyline. Not only do you might as well take Roman's career and throw that shit down the fucking drain.
You may as well take the high. Look, I'm going totally corporate here. The high stock levels that the WWE is enjoying right now, that a year and change ago was at $17, $18. Now is at $75. Every morning I'm on Channel 3. Every morning I watch that lion cocksucker Scott Haney tell me the weather is going to be this way, and it goes the other opposite direction. I watch Nicole Nalepa come out there in her hoochie mama dress telling me about the traffic in Middletown so I can get to work. But I see it, the crawler at the bottom. There's the sports scores, and here comes the Connecticut-based business stocks. And there's World Wrestling Entertainment.
Right there.
$65, $68, $71. It continues to rise. They're doing something right. But if this is true, and Joe Anoa'i, a.k.a. fuck Roman Reigns, is truly sick, they're doing the right thing.
Right, exactly.
If it turns out to be a storyline, you're going to watch $75 stock dip down to like $8.
Oh, it'll be.
At which time I will buy, and I'll wait for the rise again.
Actually, something we haven't considered too. Like, if this turns out to be a scam, let's say it is. Obviously, it's going to piss a lot of people off. A lot of Make-A-Wish people and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that is totally going to kill any possibility of XFL.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You think so?
Oh yeah, they'll connect. The brand is still Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
Even though it's a separate physical entity, Alpha Entertainment is technically a separate entity from WWE. But McMahon. I see where you're going,
because when it starts, McMahon's gonna be like, "Here we go, football!"
Oh please, not again! I don't want him marching onto the 50 to do my best Bruce Pritchard impression. Welcome to the XFL.
Dude, he has to.
He will.
He
will.
Especially since he hasn't really been on
camera
real quick
much. For the noobs out there that don't think that the WWE is up to it nowadays, Just recently, what was it, 2005? I want to say. Who was it? It was fuck.
I don't know who fuck is.
No, I know.
Give me a piece of the story.
Man,
I might be
had
able
it
to figure it out.
written down too.
I got out in 08, so I might still have a reference in 05.
I gotta say,
what about Hawk? Let's go back to the Legion of Doom.
That's the what's his name? Reinstein assaulting fucking Mike Heidenreich assaulting freaking Mike Cole. Dude, that was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
That was brutal, man. That was 2004. And then how about
one's a 6'8" wrestler, one's a 5'10" announcer.
2006, CM Punk takes freaking Paul Bearer's ashes and throws them all over the place.
Supposedly,
right?
But yeah,
but no, it's the same idea. Come on.
2 weeks after the man passes away,
that's not disrespectful.
William Moody is dead. The man who played Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle, whatever you want to call him.
Yes.
And Paul Heyman is dressed up as Paul Bearer.
I don't know.
And they just do the whole thing.
I'd put it in my will. Feel free to use my ashes.
Hey, like I said, and whatever it may be, I'm just saying, like it's not above. It's not beyond them.
Here's the thing. This is my personal opinion, and I don't like rules and stuff, but I do feel like among wrestling organizations there should be an unspoken rule that if you take the mask off, it's serious. Like, don't fuck with people. So when he says this is Joe,
they've done it,
even
man.
The Rock.
Mark Henry retires only to come back and beat the hell out of John Cena.
I remember.
People were balling.
I gotta remember this. It was only like 3-4 years before we started this. It was like about a year before we started this, and you sent me a text message about Mark Henry. Go find Mark Henry's retirement speech, and it was just so gripping. He tears in his eyes. Yeah. All this bullshit.
You bought it.
2 weeks later, he is assaulting John Cena in the ring, saying, "It's all a hoax. Fuck you."
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hulk Hogan versus Gawker thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you watch any of that testimony. There's a documentary that's actually really good on Netflix about it.
Well, I can't remember the name of it, but I watched it.
Yeah. And something that Hulk Hogan does on the stand has stuck with me for some reason. He was like, "Oh, I went on this radio station and you told everybody you had a 10-inch penis." And he stops and goes, "Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch penis. Terry Bollea does not have a 10-inch penis."
See, that's what he said. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
And it's kind of what I'm saying. So I kind of feel like it should be this unspoken rule that if you're serious, if you're going to say, "Hey, I'm sick, I got to take time off," be like, this is Joe, this is Terry, this is Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Edge did it when he retired, and to his credit, is remained retired. That neck injury was pretty serious.
He's not stupid.
Look, I'm coming out here. My name is Adam Copeland. I'm doing this, and I love you, but I can't do it anymore. Goodbye.
Right. I can't do it because I don't want to be dead. I don't want to be a vegetable.
When in the old days when they used to go on Carson and stuff like that, like he would say all the time,
like,
I'm Terry Bollea.
Right. But some of them went on in character. I go back to '96 when Arn Anderson retired. He retired as Arn Anderson, but he never came back. He never. The injury was that serious. At that moment, and I'm going back to '96 just in my head right now. That was hurtful to me because I loved Arn Anderson. Still love Arn Anderson. Best promo in the business, bar none.
Oh, yeah.
Made you believe. But he was gone. He was done. I have an injury. I'm gone. But we've seen it between 96 and 2018, 22 years. We've seen too many times where they do this to gain interest.
Right. And like I said, the biggest pop last night, he went from being booed to having tears.
Universal
like that.
Fucking love.
Dude, it went, all you do is wake up today and you see, hashtag
MSN,
thank
CNN,
you, thank
ESPN,
you, Roman, thank you,
NESN,
this. Oh, yeah.
All of these sports outlets saying Roman Reigns relinquishes his title and leukemia and gimmick champions for him. At the end of the day, if this is all bullshit, they lose all. Not that again, it's wrestling, guys. It's like Family Ties. It's like Days of Our Lives. It's entertainment, but you lose your credibility. Mopping up the tears of the crowd with your words.
Here's the thing too. There's gonna be people that are going to invest in stuff and send it to Roman Reigns, or send it. They're gonna spend money.
Yep.
Above and beyond buying tickets and buying.
Oh, absolutely.
If that happens and it turns out to be a hoax, you're gonna have a bunch of people suing his ass. Like,
as well, you should. Class action all the way.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. I'm willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he has dealt with leukemia his whole life.
Look, I've lived with Crohn's my whole fucking life. I know what it's like to have to deal with something. Our friend Max Echeverria has had colon cancer his whole fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Cancer isn't a fucking joke. Nobody here is sitting here laughing about it. There's not a person in here. I wear my fucking pink all October for my fucking grandmother.
His
Exactly.
profession makes it skeptical.
Right, exactly.
It's like, is this
his
routine?
company, his brand makes it skeptical.
Right.
Everything that they've done.
Is this script? Is this not
right?
script?
And I'm not even questioning Roman Reigns. I'm not even questioning Joe.
Yeah.
I'm questioning the brand right now. I'm saying WWE has been known to do this shit. They're controversial to begin with. And what's better to bring up fucking talking besides a controversial subject?
Third scenario. Let's say two things can be true. Let's say, yes, he has leukemia and is taking time off. And Vince McMahon is saying, we'll pay for everything. Let us use it.
Right.
Third scenario. Is that sketchy?
Kind of. I mean, I think you're bumping up him.
They're both complacent.
Right, exactly. And you're bumping up both products. You're bumping up both Roman and you're bumping up the WWE, because now you're like, oh, he's going to get stronger, he's going to get better. My only problem was he was a professional football player for I think it was 2 years, 3 years or something like that.
Well, you can tell it's his only move.
Right.
I stepped out. What was the question?
Roman Reigns, a professional football player for 3 years, 2 years?
College for 4, pro for 2, and then
there you go. So 2.
I threw out a third scenario. Like, can both things be true? He is sick, and Vince McMahon said, "Can I use this?" I'll pay. It's sleazy by both.
It is sleazy, absolutely.
But if it's one of those,
okay,
I'll pay for the cancer treatments if you let me use this.
I'm going to run
on
your point.
You know,
they've been trying. We watched the Royal Rumble 3 months before we started this podcast in 2015. Roman Reigns is the winner. He's being booed out of Philadelphia. They roll out The Rock,
which has yet to say anything on Twitter.
Yeah,
as
that's
good
kind
as
of weird.
He's the one, and just like you're making a point right now, he's the one that raised Roman's hand and said, "This is family.
Yeah, this
is my family. You accepted me. I asked that you accept him."
Yeah.
And we looked at him and said, "Fuck you, Rock." Just like you walked down with your fucking father's shit and you wanted us to accept you. No, the only way we accepted you is when you became something that you weren't supposed to be.
Right, but rolling onto your point, A, it's true. B, Vince says, "Let me use this and I'll pay for the gimmick and all the other stuff." It's still sleazy. Because, let's say because leukemia, cancer, whatever you want to call it, is a strange beast. He could be in remission 4 months from now. He could be in remission 8 months from now, and it's October, November, December, January, February, March, April. What's in 6 months?
WrestleMania. Exactly my point.
If he comes back and makes the big comeback, what if it's a year? What if it's a year and a half and he still comes back and you push him to the moon? This makes him exactly what they've been trying to make him for 4 years, which is the most popular, loved superstar in the WWE. It kills me to think for Joe, not for Roman Reigns. First of all, hashtag fuck Reigns. It still lives. It'll always live. But
my
for
opinion,
Joe Anoa'i, if this is how it goes, then you know what? Good on you, kid. Get out there, get better, heal yourself. But my question to you last night, and I'll ask it to the audience, you had a college football career. You had a professional football career. You went to the developmental system. How is it that up until last night, nobody knew
exactly
that you
what
had
I said? Yes.
leukemia? How?
I mean,
how was this
you can hide
kept
it.
quiet?
You can hide it.
The wrestling business, as much as they try to play secret, is the most wide open business in the world. Everybody knows everything, or they think they know everything because they read it on the internet. How is it that you did not know this?
Well, in their defense, like medical records is got its own little set of laws attached to it, so they couldn't just say, "Oh, he's always had cancer." They'd be violating what's it called,
HIPAA.
But at the same time, if they'd done that 4 years ago, here's a guy who is battling leukemia and is still in the rings of the WWE.
What I'm saying.
You
pushed that a while ago. You pushed that a while ago. You're like, this guy has been through it all. He's beaten leukemia. He's the WWE champ. You know what I'm saying? You use that before he even gets there. You're using it now, and like I said, we're not We're not a definite saying he's using it.
We don't know.
We're not definitely saying he isn't.
The skepticism is real.
But there's a lot. There's, just like you said, there's a lot of cards on the table that you need to be well aware of before you do, just like Ed said, turn around and send his family $1,000, which is all you have, but you think it's the right thing to do because his family is used to living.
Some people are going to be obsessed.
No,
with
absolutely.
It, you know?
No, you're damn right. And as a matter of fact,
I can think
he's
of one
already
right
went
now.
on. He's already went on Twitter and said, "Look, I appreciate the amount of support. It's incredible. But right now, I just want peace for me and my family. Please give us that." Even his uncle went on to saying the same thing.
Friend of mine on
please,
Facebook.
Yeah, please give
respect
him
the family.
right. Respect the family. Respect their time. Leave them alone. Give them their peace. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on. There's a truth to this. There is something. But like I said, if he comes rolling back, and let's not forget this is my final point that I want to make on this point.
I have one more, and then we'll move on to the rivalry.
Last night, they turned around, and Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, once again, going for the belt. Now, what's going on with the Brock Lesnar thing? Now you're going to bring him back because, you know, it just feels like it's going to be played out. And if I be so bold right now as to just say, come WrestleMania, these two are still fighting for the belt, whether it have Braun actually has a belt or whether they give it back again to Brock, to Brock Lesnar. He comes back, and not only does he beat the bejesus out of Brock, but it's a triple, it's a every man for himself, 3-for-all, bang, fucking Sunday morning blast for the past, and he just goes ape shit.
That's
you know
a
what
lot
I'm saying?
of words.
He just goes ape shit.
ECW
I did.
in the day?
Yeah, I did. That was my I turned on some Tony Schiavone shit. Right there
wow,
for you.
nice. The biggest night in the history of our sport. Sorry, Conrad. I know he's your partner.
But look, my
what
point.
was your question, Ed? Let's find out.
My point is this, very simply: if he comes back WrestleMania and he decimates, you have to turn around and be like, look, he beat cancer. He's unstoppable. It's I just feel like if he comes back to WrestleMania, that's the proof. That's the proof in the pudding. I'm sorry, man.
You know what? Fifth scenario. He realized his brand sucks.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Are we going to see
he's nothing without Shield?
WrestleMania coming back.
Nobody's buying Roman Reigns.
New fucking look.
Nobody's buying Roman Reigns gear unless you're female or under the age of 14.
Yeah.
And there's a few special cases, which I'm not going to.
No, it's funny you say that because Alex remember when we first started getting into this? Alex was just about 14. And he was all about fucking Roman Reigns. Turned 15. He's gay.
Yep.
Not that there's anything wrong.
I look back to something that Arn Anderson said, not in his retirement.
That's another
speech,
one. Chuck Palumbo and fucking Billy Gunn.
The gay wedding.
With their, was it GLAAD?
Oh,
GLAAD. Yeah. Come on, man.
The Gay and Lesbian Society were all over that, and they're sending them gifts, and they're praising them, and it's all a storyline. Again, the WWE is not above sleaze, but I go back to something Arn Anderson said when it comes to Brock Lesnar before we close this out, because next week is going to be all about wrestling. I'm letting you guys know now. We got 2 special guests coming in, hopefully. If not, just one. We're going to have some fun with the all-woman pay-per-view. Arn Anderson once said something, and I think Brock Lesnar's living it now, in a bigger way, but Arn Anderson lived it in a smaller way. He said about him and Ric Flair during the whole NWO thing, they don't need you until they need you.
Right.
So now, Brock finishes out his contract. There's nobody mentioning Brock Lesnar up until and including last night. All of a sudden now, it's about Brock and Braun. Well, they didn't need him until they needed him. And Brock's all about, hey, look, if I can do something A for the company and B to get a big paycheck, see, I'm glad you did that, I'm all for it. It's a lot like talking about NASCAR real quick. How many times in the last 5-6 years did you see Terry Labonte, Bobby Labonte, God rest his soul, Ted Christopher, go out there and finish 38th in every single race they ran because they don't need you until they need you. Hey, we need a car. We only have 38 entries. We need 2 more. Can you and Bobby? Yeah. Hey, Terry, can you and Bobby come out?
We're going to have a Legends race and just throw 2 legends. Boogity, boogie, boogie.
Even
Let's
beyond that. Here, we just need you guys to fill the field.
Yeah.
Can you do it? But people hear
But
the
you
name
need talent.
Terry
But you
Lab-
need talent
but
because
then
you
you
just
have
can't.
two champions,
Right.
in Terry and Bobby Labonte, both brothers, both champions. Brock Lesnar, same thing.
Right, you just can't throw a rookie out there
You couldn't
into
have
a
thrown-
field and
exactly.
expect the fire that you would if these two came
You
out
couldn't
there.
have thrown Elias, and as much as I love Elias, or Dolph Ziggler into that role
Yeah.
and expect people to care after
Even
after
as much pop as they're giving this Drew McIntyre. Dude,
he was
leaves.
badass back in the day, but he's even more
Dude,
badass
he's
now.
he's a freaking assassin. What is this guy on, man? I swear he grew like 2 inches, and he's just like
He does
50
look,
pounds.
Well, you put him next to Dolph Ziggler, anybody looks
Yeah,
big.
that's true.
I'd look big
But I
next
mean,
to
he was-
Joe Ziggler.
He was just, he was. I'd say maybe just under Randy Orton, like cut wise. He was cut,
but he was gone for 6 years. So,
But then he comes back, and I'm telling you, man, the guy's huge now. He's huge.
it's all good. All I'm saying is, guys, be skeptical. Again, I will say this: Chris Burns at cburns19 on Twitter.
I've said it on Twitter. Go ahead, go look at my shit. I've already spoke my mind.
To Joe Onawai, kid, get better. There's nothing in this world worse than being sick and not being able to do what you love. If this is 100% legit, to Joe Onawai, hey, get better.
Absolutely, man.
I will push the hashtag aside. But if this comes out to be a hoax, we are the first, and we will be the only source for your hashtag Fuck Reigns t-shirts that this man came up with, that I wanted to push to make a t-shirt, and I'm kind of glad we didn't, because
Well, right now, I'm going to say this: for all you listeners that know we have this shirt, you'll be happy to know, out of taste for the people that actually do have cancer, we are not releasing.
Dude,
I know.
I'm sorry.
I
You
know.
wear the pink every single week. I made a donation. I got a free t-shirt. We're all about
absolutely,
helping people in
Like
need.
I said, we no issues with that, and like I said, I'm not trying to bash it. What I am saying is, for right now, the hashtag Fuck Reigns campaign is on pause until we have these cards sorted out, and we can either A, prove that he does actually have leukemia, and once again, fuck you haters for turning around. Oh, you're an asshole for even explaining. No, because if he's faking, I'm not the asshole anymore, people.
The McMahons versus Shawn
Right,
Michaels
exactly.
and God.
There you go. There's your assholes. There's your fucking assholes. But don't be surprised. Do not, for 1 second, sit there with your dumb faces and go, I didn't see that coming. Because we're going to be like,
oh, here it
we
comes.
gave you a list.
Horse shit.
It was this fucking long of times they fucking did. And
It was as long as Hulk Hogan's dick.
That's exactly. It was
Not Terry
Not
Bollea's
Terry
dick.
Bollea.
no.
Hulk
Hulk
Hogan's dick.
Suck on his big 10-inch record.
Hulkster. His 10-inch python, brother.
All right,
right.
we're going to take a quick little pause here, guys, and then we're going to come right back for your rivalry action.
It's going to be great.
Prepared.
It's going to be great.
Man, I haven't run that in so long. It felt good.
It
That
did
was
feel
nice.
good. I felt good to hear it.
That was nice. So, we are going to be discussing one of the greatest, and to this day, people are still saying the greatest rivalry in sports
Of all time.
of all times.
There's only,
all
in my opinion, if I can throw this out there, there are 4. There's Red Sox Yankees. There's Michigan Ohio State. There is Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers, and I know you're not a big hockey fan, but Boston Bruins, Montreal Canadiens. Those are the big 4, in my opinion.
I gotta go Bears Packers too.
I would give Bears Packers a nod. I would also give Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt
Yeah,
back in the day.
Old school Giants, fucking Dallas too. Those
Giants,
guys had
Dallas.
some,
Well,
not
yeah,
so much
20
now.
years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Back in the day. Back in the day.
I would put Muhammad Ali in Foreman. I think that was a pretty big rivalry.
But these are teams that we're
Yes.
talking about. This
Still
goes on
sports,
for
though.
decades
No,
and decades and decades. Ali Foreman
Yeah,
had a
we're
really
talking
had
100
a
years
window. Oh yeah, easily.
Talking 100 years. First time these two met was in April 26th, 1901.
Look at this guy go.
1901.
It's like having Corey here, but with a
Now,
nicer
guys,
face and likes better beer.
They were the Baltimore Orioles. We
Yes.
were the Boston Americans.
Yes,
Guess who won the first game?
them.
Americans.
Oh shit, I was.
You guys
wrong.
did. Yes. 10
Yay!
to 6. 10 to 6.
So they weren't always the Yankees?
No. They were the Baltimore Orioles.
Yep.
2 years later, they moved up to New York, and then they changed their name to the Highlanders,
Highlanders.
because they were in the uplands. They were
Yep.
higher. In 1906, they end up premiering the pinstripes for the first time ever in Boston, and they were like, "What the fuck is this?" And then it's like a year later, they changed to the Yankees.
That is one thing I've never understood, because you don't, like, geographically, you don't necessarily associate a Yankee with New York.
Right.
You associate it with the North.
Like, well, more like
Yeah.
the New England area. Like New York wasn't always what it was.
You ask
No,
anybody
yeah.
below the Mason-Dixon line, and if you're from Jersey, you're a Yankee.
Yeah.
If you're from
No, yeah,
Pennsylvania,
yeah.
you're a Yankee.
Right. Anything.
Yeah. but-
The greatest line ever was Days of Thunder. You remember Days of Thunder?
Oh, I love
Fantastic
that
fucking movie. Where's your driver from? California.
Some of
Well,
those-
he's a Yankee. Well, he's from California.
So
He's not really a Yankee. He's not really anything. You said it. I didn't.
exactly.
I mean, you can't really trust those anyway. Most of those states allow you to marry your first cousin, and it's still
That's Arkansas.
it's still
Yeah,
okay to have
that's
sex with a
smart.
horse.
If
Come on.
Kurt's out there, I want you to chime in, man. I said it. In Texas, you meet a nice woman, you marry her, she's your wife. In Arkansas, you ask your cousin, "What are you doing for the next 20 years?" You marry her, she's your wife.
She's my wife. That's what happens.
Same as Florida, but different.
Those they do alligators there.
I know.
They do alligators.
Same. Whatever works. Moving on the rivalry, Schneebitz-Fernum.
Even old New York was once
2,257 meetings.
Wow.
New
Think
York
about
Yankees and the Boston Red Sox.
2,257 meetings. Fantastic.
So with the Yankees in front, 1,202. Red Sox 1,018, and 14 ties.
That's amazing because you don't hear about many ties in Major League Baseball.
And that was way back when.
Oh, yeah.
When they actually did that. Now they
They
play
don't do
that shit.
tiebreakers?
No, there's
No, you play until it's over now,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is why the whole All-Star game now determines who has home field advantage because it ended in a tie. They used all their available pitchers,
Yep.
and the inept motherfucker who ran Major League Baseball, Bud Selig, came out and said, "It's a tie. There's nothing we can do. Everybody go home." It was in Milwaukee that year, strangely
It's
enough.
like what the.
That's why I remember it.
It's-
And now they put out it means a lot or it means more. This is important.
Right.
It makes the All-Star game. I wish they do it with the Pro Bowl. Whoever wins the Pro Bowl has home. You can't because it's a different venue every year.
Right.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Baddest New York team was 2000, in my opinion.
Oh, you're wrong.
And they gave the Red Sox the worst beating of their lives, 22-1. The Red Sox could only follow in 2004 with a 17-1 ass whooping, but nowhere next to 22.
Oh, you're talking about a single game?
Single game.
Okay,
Single
I'll agree
game.
with that.
Single game.
But if you say the baddest team in Yankee history, there's two. There's 1927. There's 1998.
Oh, 98, absolutely. 2000, in my opinion, was a really, really nasty one.
Continuing on, you're leading the charge, man. Talk to me.
Win streaks go to us, 17, 12 for you guys.
Yep.
Obviously, I really started getting into baseball. I'm gonna say like 80s. That's when I really started getting back into it, and at that point, Red Sox were getting pretty exciting. The Yankees were still the Yankees that they always have been. They were
spoilers, but they weren't amazing.
Right, they were dynamic. They were dynamic.
Okay.
You could expect a lot from them. Leading into it, and the one thing I got to say about the rivalries is I could say one name, and we can symbolize it in 2 words: either a hero or a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Trot Nixon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Bucky Dent.
Alex Boone.
Alex Boone or Aaron Boone?
Or I'm sorry, Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone.
You're right. Kevin Millar.
Kevin Millar. Hero, villain. Exactly. There's a very fine line when you have Pedro Martinez.
Andy Pettit.
Andy Pettit. Roger Clemens.
On either side.
Right.
Because he was a Yankee killer for years and years.
2003, when we are in the division and it is Pedro Martinez against freaking Roger Clemens, and you just know that Roger is just this, he's talking about retirement. You think that this is going to be their freaking game. You think that he's just going to, and we're owning you guys. We're owning you to the point where the freaking Red Sox fans are dancing in the stadiums and doing this whole thing.
What was the finish on that?
And there's your boy, freaking Aaron, chilling. And the funny thing was, if you go back and you actually listen to some of the, the programs back then, he said, I was so upset that I wasn't on the roster that day. He said he felt something. Starting. Right, exactly. He was like, yeah, exactly. I wasn't starting.
Willie Randolph, as they put him into pinch hit in the bottom of the 11th in that game,
has to
Willie Randolph grabs him by the sleeve and goes, "You're my sleeper. You're going to make a difference tonight."
Yep.
He thought maybe, I'm sure, and Willie said this on a documentary, I thought maybe he'd put a double into the gap, get something started. He didn't expect
a
game-winning walk-off home run into the fucking left field bleachers. One of the same I've always been a fan of the number 19. I wore the number 19 in high school. I still wear the number 19. Aaron Boone wore the number 19. It just sticks in my.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Like I said, I stood up and I watched that whole thing. We were pre-celebrating everything else. It just.
Oh yeah.
This is the rivalry. This is the intensity between these two teams. At any given moment, this game can switch like that. At any given time, it can go in a flash. One of
the things you asked me was my favorite Yankee memories, and I want to flip the script. I'm going to give you 2 Red Sox memories that are cemented in my mind only because of, the people around me. And if I'd have known you then, I'm sure this would have meant something to you. The first one is obviously the 2004 comeback. Okay, Sully, listen to what I'm saying, and he's going to agree with me. The comeback. There was no choke job. Put your penis away. Stop fluffing your chest. It was a comeback because if you remember, Game 3 was 19-8.
Oh, yeah.
I remember sitting in a room with a former friend of mine. If we could ever get him on the phone, he will admit to this. I looked at him. I said, "You guys are winning the American League Championship. You're going to the World Series." He looked at me like I had a dick growing on my forehead. "What are you talking about? We just lost." I'm like, "We just blew our wad. This is over. This is over. You guys are too tough. You are going to win the championship series. You're going to go to the World Series." Thought I was crazy. Fast forward to my second favorite memory, which I already brought up, which was them winning in 2004. That game we watched at a place called C.C. O'Brien, the Pawcatuck Westerly line.
Yep, I know
where
that is.
Connecticut and Rhode Island are split right there. The bar is like right dead on the line. We're watching this game. I took a week off. I had a lot of time built up. I'm going to take a week off. I'm going to watch a game. The Red Sox in the World Series is history. You guys have the best team. In my opinion, you're going to win. Took 10 days off. Turns out I only needed 6 because there's a day off in between. We're at C.C. O'Brien's. That last last hit. I think it was Pokey Reese, who had just recently left the Red Sox, went to St. Louis, bounces it back to Folk. Folk tosses it to Bill Miller. It's over. I'm in tears. I'm a Yankee fan and I'm in fucking tears.
It was.
Why? Because it's history. It's watching, if you're a big burly guy and you're 13 or 14 and you're pushing around that little kid who's 8 and all of a sudden that little kid grows up to be a giant and now he's kicking your ass. That was history. Not only that, I called my father. I've said a lot of things about my father on this show, but this was one of those days I picked up the phone. I said, Dad, I love you. I'm glad you got to see this. Called my brother. Love you. Glad you got to see this. It's history. It's not war. It's baseball. And you know what? There's a time where your team will rise up again, as much as the Yankees did in 2009, won the World Series. In this century, look, again, Sully, listen to what I'm saying. In this century, 2000 till now, yes, you have 3 championships. I'm the first one to say it. Look at my hat. I'm wearing a little Yankee gimmick right now. You guys are the standard bearer for baseball right now in the 2000s. I will not take that away from you.
Well, let's not candy coat the way of how it became, because as much as Vinny's and Sully's will like to talk about this, one of the biggest things that a Sully will go to is they don't sell. They're prideful.
They don't sell themselves.
Right,
they sell the other team short.
There is
you guys choked, or did you guys actually come back and battle hard?
Right. No, there's no price tag for their hearts, is what they're saying, and it's bullshit, because what we have spent just alone for the last decade, and for us to walk away with only, like, say 2 in the 2000 and 2000 and 2010, it's a lot of money. We went the same route as the Yankees. Dump as much money as you can.
Funny. Oh my! If you were still alive, I would love to bring him on the show. Absolutely my best friend in the world, Jeremy. He passed away in 2011. God rest his soul. When the Red Sox won in 2004 and then again in 2007, I put something out there for the people. Back then it was MySpace.
Yeah.
And I said,
Space.
I said, it's funny. The Red Sox have figured out a way to out-Yankee the Yankees. And Jeremy took offense. How so? I'm like, well, key free agents, certain big contracts, a mix of young talent, old talent, high-priced talent, etc., so forth. You build the perfect puzzle. This is why the Red Sox are the team they are right now in 2018. They were in 2004, 2007, 2013, and now today. They figured out a way to out-Yankee the Yankees. The Yankees, on the other hand, you go back to the 2000 series, they beat the Mets. Yes. You go back to 2001, they lost that series to the Diamondbacks. Then you go to 2003, they lost that series to the Marlins. You go to 2009, they won, and they haven't been back. Oh, no, 2009 they won. I'm sorry, against Philadelphia. Fuck Philadelphia, by the way. But they haven't been a strong winning contender. If you want to go from 2000 to today, the Red Sox are 3-2 in the way of championships. And in my opinion, it's going to 4-2 in 7 games from today. But you have to remember, there has to be a standard that you have to follow to build this team. The Yankees were that standard, and the Red Sox, with John Henry, at the time Theo Epstein, and others, have learned how to out-Yankee the Yankees in this particular...
Well, we're still doing it, and then, I mean, obviously Price was a huge price.
Price is in money, or price is in David?
Both. Like, oh God, because
he kind of shit the bed against the Yankees.
He does. God,
but
he always
did
does
fantastically.
But that's just it. Like, everybody says
Houston.
that. I don't know what it is. He just cannot pitch in Yankee Stadium.
There's a lot of guys that were like that.
He just cannot do it. He just can't do it.
Roger Clemens, when he was with the Red Sox, was the same way. You put him up against the Yankees, he's a monkey fucking a football. But you put him up against the other teams in the AL, and he kills them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you bring Roger Clemens to New York, who's the one team he had problems with, Boston.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's almost as if I can beat all the contenders, but when you get me to the championship,
Millar had his number a lot.
I want to bring up Kevin Millar real quick, and we'll go back to 2004.
It's funny because he's a big villain in New York.
He is, but in my opinion, he's the bringer of truth, and I'll say it like this. After that 19-8 ass whooping in Game 3 in 2004 American League Championship Series, they have the cameras on Kevin Millar because he is vociferous.
Mm-hmm.
He is just one of those guys. He's easily quotable. The one thing he said when it was Bill Simmons from ESPN following around with the camera, he says, "Don't let us win tonight. Do not let us win tonight because then you have Pedro Martinez for Game 5. Then you have Schilling for Game 6, and that's the whole bloody sock routine.
Yep.
And then in Game 7, anything can happen." You go back about 3 months into the season where Johnny Damon and Kevin Millar saying, "This is the right band of idiots to make this happen." Everything fell into place.
Yep.
I don't want to say scrappy because it gives the impression that the Red Sox were less than. I don't want to say scrappy. I want to say they had the fighting spirit, whereas the Yankees may or may not have come into those series chest fluffed. We just come off a 19-8 victory,
Right.
and we're just going to kick your ass.
No, exactly.
We have a visitor in her gimmick onesie, majestic pony. Do you want to come on camera and show them? Then why are you here? May I ask? It's raining outside. Are all of our windows up?
Yep.
I never roll them down.
All right. Thank you. You look like a majestic pony, by the way. You have wings and a tail, by the way. Put up the gimmick. Come on, quick.
She's a pegacorn.
Now you have to come on camera. One for you, too.
It's already on Facebook.
Is it?
Yeah.
Madison Teagan. You're fired. Anyway, to call them scrappy makes them underlings. They weren't scrappy. They were fighting. They were Rocky versus Apollo, if you will.
Rocky was kind of scrappy,
you
though.
have the heart, you have the determination, you just don't have the opportunity.
Right.
And now the Red Sox, as Rocky, come up against the Yankees as Apollo and prove their might. So that's why I'm not upset. Still, to this day, I'm not upset about 2004. I tipped my hat to every Red Sox fan. It was your time. Then you go to 2007. You had the hottest team anywhere.
Yeah, that was...
You beat the shit out of Colorado. I actually thought 2013 was going to be St. Louis's year, but I was wrong.
I really, like I said, that was probably, in my opinion, one of my favorite series just because the boys were able to, like, stay up and watch all these games with me. Like, most of the time they passed out by, like, the 7th inning. You know
Same with my daughter. My daughter loves hockey. If she falls asleep before second intermission, the Bruins win.
but man,
it's proven.
It's just great. It's just it's different when your children get to enjoy something like that.
Yes.
I'll never forget. I want to say it was right before 2007, and always the ones that have passed are living through you, and they get to see it and stuff like that. But I'll never forget. I just got Netflix for like the first time, and Netflix with Xbox. I don't know if you guys have ever had the chance of seeing this, but with Xbox 360, you could actually it was the first time they had one. That's right, it was Xbox One. You could literally, they'd have this theater, and your little anime guy would come in and sit down, and they'd throw popcorn at each other. It was fucking just this little thing that they did. But the movie
was sad. Netflix for the Wii.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You actually had to have a disc.
You did.
Mailed to
you
you.
did.
And,
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So
all right, we got Mark. He's watching. He says, "Let's go Red Sox." Mark, we're going to talk about you in a minute. I want to give you props in a minute when we talk about Vinny's versus Sully's or the like. But go ahead with your point, please.
So here I am with freaking Netflix, and they have the 2004. The entire. It was like the what was it?
Thank you for that picture.
The fucking when you put a little thing together, like a 2-hour
montage.
Yeah, 2-hour episode special or whatever the fuck it was. But it was the 2004 Yankees Red Sox, and then they finished up and they gave you like a little tidbit of the World Series. You know what I'm saying, of what they went through.
All right, like a 2-hour highlight reel.
Right.
Like the old NFL films.
Right, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
But this was like the trip to trip to the World Series. But a lot of it was the Yankees, Red Sox. That was because we beat the bejesus out of the fucking Cardinals.
What else could there be in 2004 when you look back? There was nothing other than the Yankees, Red Sox.
Exactly. And I'll never forget because they. With Netflix back then, it wouldn't restart unless you hit the A button.
Right.
Now it just fucking continuously plays for 4 hours and says, "Are you still watching?
Yeah.
Are you still binge watching? You lazy fuck."
Click.
I think you can turn that off.
No, you can probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But back then, the point
Happens
is,
at Mark's house every
point is,
Sunday
back
when we
then,
watch football.
you couldn't do it. You would literally have to hit the A button to start it again, right?
Yep.
Well, I watched it, and for some fucking reason, I hit the start button to start it again, and I just like went to bed because I used to have my own little game room, and then right across there was my bed. So I literally walked in, and I got up for work, and this was when I just I had like a mixed shift of first and second, but I stayed up late, watched this fucking thing. I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever, get my shower in.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear the fucking TV still going on. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You left it running.
I hit it, but at this point, it's over. You know what I'm saying? I went to bed at like fucking 10 o'clock
That's
at
what
night,
Red Sox
dude.
fans felt in 2004 anyway. It's
over.
over.
It was over,
You hit the
right?
fucking button.
So someone had to hit that fucking button continuously, and I would love to think that it was my grandfather because he passed away not long ago, and he didn't get to experience it. You know what I'm saying? Like he really.
Which is why I called my father that night.
Right.
Which is why I called my brother that night. Look, anybody who's out there who thinks they know my family dynamic, go kiss a bag of dicks.
You know who it was.
But
it was Babe.
It was Babe.
He wanted to watch the highlights.
It was Babe Ruth. He was like, "Wow, fucking."
Before I forget, and I think you're gonna have. We talked about this last week on the mini episode that we did. Not officially sponsored by the Focus Digital Network because Eddie was effing sick.
Effing bastard.
Vinnies and Sullies, I want you to listen up. If you are true to your crew, you have one team. One.
Yes.
I'm going to look to my right,
yes.
And I'm going to say, Mike, how many baseball teams do you root for?
I got uno.
And what team is that?
For the Spanish people.
Yeah, right. And what team is that?
That is the Red Sox, sir.
Okay, and I will sit here with a tattoo on my arm and with the interlocking NY on my head. I root for one team. It is the New York Yankees. However, I'm going to say there are certain members of the population that can get away with liking two teams. Mark chimed in, so I'm going to put Mark on blast. Not on blast in a bad way, in a good way. Mark is a Chicago native. Mark grew up, born, bred, raised Chicago. He comes out here to the East. He makes his home. Can't always see his Cubbies. He's a Cubs fan. I was so thrilled for him in 2016. We all were.
Oh, yeah.
Cubbies finally win the World Series. Fantastic. But Mark comes out here in WGN, which is the Chicago Superstation, wasn't exactly available all these years. Now, you can turn on your TV and see a Cubs game every day. But Mark wants to watch baseball. So what does he do? He has three choices, basically, in this area. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Mets. Nobody's going to pick the fucking Mets, unless you're retarded or high. No offense to you. Because every now and again, I know you like to get high. Which is why you're wearing a Red Sox jersey, but you're not wearing a Mets jersey. You see, you're not that high.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
he's not going to come out of the closet on that one.
As we say, you can only have one. Mark wants to follow a team. He wants to watch baseball. He chooses the Red Sox. We've been to his house. We know it's Chicago everything. But on his fridge, he's got little Red Sox gimmicks.
Well, it's because I took him to Star Wars night,
and that's fine.
That's what did it. If you would have taken him to Star Wars night for Yankees, he'd probably be a Yankees fan.
Fastest way to Mark's heart. Fastest way to Mark's heart through Star Wars.
All good. But anyway, I give Mark credit. He lives, breathes, shits, eats Chicago Cubs. When it comes down to it, he has love for the Red Sox on the side, and I get that. But let me explain something to you, Marlin fan, Diamondback fan, Oriole fan, Braves fan. If you're not a transplant, fuck you. You don't have the luxury of picking two teams. I was not born here in this area, but I was raised here 30-some years of my life, yada yada. One team. One.
Well, you could pick two teams.
I had love for the Mets.
But the first one's got to go.
Sure.
So, you can be like, I like the Red Sox, but I'm going to pick this team. Now I have two teams, but I have to drop this one.
But
you have a 30-second leeway.
See, that happened to me in 2000. I always had a soft spot in my heart for the Mets. I also have a soft spot in my heart for the Brewers, but push comes to shove,
They're a cool team.
if the
though. Come
Brewers
on.
came to
They're
the
a
World
team
Series,
based on beer.
if
That's so cool.
Right, but if the Brewers came to the World Series and you said this and we agree on it, except for the NFL, fuck the Saints, fuck the NFC South, I'm always going to go with my division, which means
Try, absolutely.
when the Red Sox, Orioles, Blue Jays, whatever, they go to the World Series, I'm putting my faith behind them.
Oh, absolutely, dude. 2003. What did Aaron Boone do to us? Broke our hearts. But who the fuck was I rooting for against the Marlins?
The Yankees.
You guys, because I didn't want the fucking Marlins to win. No.
Here's what I'm saying. There are a lot of folks out there who gave me a ton of shit. And we can go to college football on this, but that's another story for another time. Ohio State loses.
I saw.
Unless you're in the Big Ten, shut the fuck up. And even if you are in the Big Ten, did you beat us? Shut the fuck up.
Fucking
how many times this
Purdue.
year? How many times have
Chris,
I said?
Chris, I got sick and tired of seeing your name.
How
I'm
many
like,
times
okay.
have I mentioned anything about a Michigan loss this year?
0.
Exactly. You know why? Because the only game that matters is November 24th at noon, and hopefully when we get a venue, you guys will all be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means to be a true fan. Now, I throw back to Mark. Mark has his Cubs, lives, bleeds, dies, eats, shits Cubs. He has the Red Sox because he lives in this area. He needs to watch baseball. Now WG is in effect, but he still can't give up his love for the Red Sox. I get it. But at the heart of it all, if you put a gun to his head and said, Mark, who's your favorite baseball team? You know what the answer is going to be? The Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
But Braves fan, Marlin fan, fucking Diamondback fan, don't give me shit when my team loses because you didn't do it. Eat shit and live. That's the Sully, that's the Vinny, and I know you've seen it on the other side. If, in the event that Houston had beat you in the championship series, how many Yankee fans do you know would have come out and gave you shit? Hundreds?
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Stop the laundry love. It's bullshit from the word go. Stop the bullshit. I'm going to give Mark some more credit. This is a guy who this past weekend we're watching NASCAR, which Mike doesn't think is a sport, but we're not going to get in a fight again. I love you, kid. I always will.
Even I think it's a sport.
Thank you. But this past weekend, Mark's driver got booted from
Golf
the playoffs.
is considered a sport, and I consider it a leisure.
Ping pong is fucking sport too. Whatever. I get it. I let's not rehash.
Anything with competition is a sport.
Spelling bee.
Sure.
Okay. Anyway,
mental sport.
Mark's driver gets bumped out of the playoffs. The race is over. He looks at me and goes, "Well, my guy's out. Go Kevin Harvick." I'm like, wow, that's the same thing I do. That's a classy fucking move. And when the Yankees were booted by the Red Sox, we were here last week doing that little fun time video. I looked dead in your eye. I said, hey, man, congratulations. Go get him.
Mm-hmm.
Go fucking get him. That's what a man does. You don't, the person, you know how many times I've heard I'm a scumbucket because I'm a Yankee fan and the person doesn't know me?
Yeah, well, that's...
Have you heard it on the opposite side?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
It's horseshit.
That's ridiculous. You're a scumbucket
Stop
for
the
totally different
laundry
reasons.
love.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're scumbuckets, but we're not, deep scumbuckets.
And let's make the rivalry even better. So in case you guys even if you didn't follow it as long as any of us had.
Yep.
In the 80s, we both sucked. In 86,
well,
we lost.
You sucked a little less than we did.
We sucked a little bit more.
You sucked a little. Well,
no, we were hardly a contender in 86.
We had the most wins of any team in MLB in the 80s. We only converted it to one World Series appearance.
In 81.
81. You guys did it in 86.
86. And we both lost in spectacular fashion, I might add.
You guys, if you guys want full disclosure, the Red Sox had more playoff appearances in the 80s than the Yankees.
No, they did. They did. But we were very low key in the 80s. For as big as a team as both of us were.
You were bubbling. It was really fun as a Yankee fan to watch the Red Sox
90s,
in the 80s.
90s was exciting.
The 90s was fantastic.
That's when I really started watching baseball and really keeping track of stats and everything else. And 90s,
I was that guy in
Red
the 80s
Sox
because
and
I was a baseball player.
Yeah, Red Sox and freaking Yankees. They 90s was insane. 99.
Let me ask you a question. If you knew my history before we started this, you knew I was a Yankee fan, you knew I was a Falcon fan, you knew I was this fan, that fan, NASCAR fan, Kiss fan, etc., so forth. If you were a Sully, do you think we'd be here today, 3.5 years, 175 episodes later?
No, we probably lost it. Probably this past ALDS. If
I'm
not,
going back to 2015.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
If you were a Sully, do you think that we'd be here being able to have intelligent conversation about this rivalry or the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry? Cripes.
Did we face each other in 2015?
I'd have to look back. I don't have the information in front of me. I'm not going to the Google machine. I'm having too much fun.
I don't think we did. But no, I'd have to say we wouldn't make it past that. We wouldn't make it past
Here
the first.
we are. We made it
no, I'm
past
just I'm just saying, if I'm a Sully and you're a Vinny.
If you're a Sully and I'm a Vinny.
We don't make it past the first
please,
ALDS.
full disclosure, Vinny Milano, if you're out there, I didn't choose that name because you're Vinny Milano. BaldVinny.com. Get your great Yankee shirts there. He designed this tattoo, by the way. Vinny Milano did. I'm not saying that's Vinny. Vinny's a cool guy, but I'm saying Vinny as in that's a New York name.
It's a New York.
Sully is a Boston name. Guys, that's where I came up with that. Don't think
anybody knows
it.
Sully goes with that. Everybody you go. It's funny. I was at the medical marijuana
no, not you.
facility, and the lady was talking about that.
You're killing me.
I had to cough. My God.
We need a cough button. I used to have that at
there.
I used to have that at the radio station, a cough button.
For those of you listening worldwide, it's season change up here.
Yeah,
we're all coughing like motherfuckers.
No, it is. It's
I've had to hit the inhaler.
But she married what she said a Sully, and it's funny because
oh shit.
Yeah, she goes every once in a while. He's been down here long enough where he's kind of lost it. She said, but every once in a while it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a doctor, you know what I'm saying? This is her husband is also a doctor, is what I'm saying. So even as a doctor, this motherfucker still has, being pulled out of Boston as a Sully, still has Sully moments.
Okay.
And his kids laugh their asses off because his accent is so
I just kind of went Sully hard. I want you to give me some Vinny stories. And then
that's fucking easy, dude. That's easy.
I want us to go over our best Sully versus Vinny stories because I have a great Sully story.
First game I go to as an actual game is Red Sox versus Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
Nice.
The old Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yes.
We went up with like about 6 of us. Me and Brian, of course, being the Red Sox fans. Jeremy was a Yankees fan, and the other guy was a Mets fan.
I'm sorry.
The fucked up part was, and I get the rivalry, and, I'm just really starting to kind of get into the whole rivalry at this point. I'm really starting to get into the whole baseball thing. I'm really enjoying it. The rivalry just between that is just, you got a Mets fan in Yankee Stadium, and we are getting more fucking flack. So anyways, long story short, we're going out, and I just got another beer, and this fucking guy turns around and he's like, "Did you get that fucking beer for your girlfriend?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "'Cause you're all faggots. You ain't got a single fucking girlfriend.
Jesus Christ.
Not a single one of you. You're all a bunch of faggots." And I'm like,
"Oh Christ.
Okay, dude, whatever." So I fucking go back and I have, I have my beer and I hand it to my fucking buddy. And sure as shit, motherfucker is 5 fucking things up to me.
Vinny is right
Look
behind
at the faggot. I told you got that for your faggot, buddy. Dude, the whole fucking game, faggot.
Oh,
the whole
Christ.
fucking time. So then finally, and the worst part is, like, none of the ushers are doing shit about this.
Of course not.
They're not doing shit about this.
I told you the
and
story.
The point was, I was in the creature bleacher section, so I should have known better.
Oh,
yeah, I should have known better. That's what they said.
I got a story about the bleacher creature
Stepped
section.
out of line, bro.
But regardless, man. So we're 7th inning at this fucking point, and I think we're just starting to win. So I'm getting loud because this motherfucker been loud the whole game. We're finally winning. I'm getting loud. This motherfucker, dude, takes a beer, and I am not even joking. I don't even know how the fuck the talent that this dude had. I mean, he's literally like 7, 8 rows above us.
Okay.
And he just chucks this thing perfect, where it does not a drip of beer comes out until it hits my fucking partner right on his fucking shoulder.
Ain't that about a bitch?
Fucking beer everywhere. It gets in my fucking face, on my fucking, dude, just people are fucking screaming. It turns into a fucking brawl. Who gets thrown out? we get fucking thrown out.
I told you my story. Same
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. Fucking nobody wants to hear nothing. Everybody's no, they started it. They were calling him a faggot. He just retaliated.
Doesn't matter.
What?
It doesn't matter.
And then of course I'm getting ornery at that point. So no, that was it. And they fucking booted us out. And he was ugly.
The second to the last time I ever went to Fenway Park was Red Sox Indians, and I at that time collected jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I had a nice Indians jersey. It actually had number 99 Ricky Vaughn.
Yep.
You know the drill.
Yep.
So I'm sitting in the center field bleachers. We were there with my friend at the time. His cousin is John McDonald, who played for the Indians at the time.
Right.
So the whole time I'm just getting browbeat. The Red Sox beat the shit out of the Indians. I'm standing the first base side, the bathrooms, because the ladies had to go to the bathroom. The guys are like, oh, fucking here we go again. And I'm in my Indians jersey. I'm unbuttoning it because it was hot. Mm-hmm. It was July. And here comes some drunken Sully. Hey, nice job tonight. Where you going to be in October? Okay, fucker. I got your ass. Mm-hmm. Underneath, you know what I'm wearing? A Yankees t-shirt. I break open the jersey like Superman, and I say, in the Bronx, in the playoffs, where I belong, keep walking. His buddies are all giving him shit, and here I am standing proud, beer in hand. And he's, hey, that guy got you, motherfucker. I'm sitting in the bleachers a year later. Same scenario. John McDonald gets traded to Toronto. So we're there. Mm-hmm. John gets us tickets. Very nice. And we're sitting there. My buddy at the time, one of my best friends, he's a cocksucker now, but fuck him. We're sitting there, and I keep getting hit with peanuts, like inning after inning after inning after inning. Again, collect sports jerseys. I'm wearing a Blue Jays jersey. Blue Jays are playing. I want to wear the Blue Jays gimmick. Inning after inning. And my buddy turns around and goes, hey, he's here with me. We're buddies. You fuck with him, you fuck with me. Knock it off. Guy goes, okay, yeah, everything's all good. He sits down, get a full-on hot dog, mustard, relish gimmick all over my back. We didn't speak. I looked at him, he looked at me, we turned around, beer bath. Of course, now, security comes down like Batman. Oh, the guy hit my buddy's wife, my buddy at the time, hit his wife like smack across the face. We got thrown out. And I'm like, fuck you, fuck your stadium, which is why 2 years ago when we did that trip, I was like, I'm not going back. Yeah. I'm not going back. I can't do it. But everybody was cool. I wore Bruins gear, so everybody's like, Bruins, whatever. There's just something about, and I'll go back to this story. A friend of mine, his name is Steve Landry. Hopefully, I'm going to tag him in this show. I'm going to send him the whole gimmick. Was afraid to go to Yankee Stadium. I've heard stories. I've heard that people get stabbed. I heard this. I'm like, you're hearing what you want to hear.
Yeah.
I'll take you there.
It's bad.
Nothing will happen to you as long as you're next to me.
Unless you have a porcelain ego.
Pretty
if you
much.
Have a porcelain ego,
then you're going to be fragile.
Yeah, you will get fucked.
Took Steve to the game. Steve had a blast. There was a guy ahead of us wearing a Ted Williams jersey. We all made friends. We bought each other beer. There were him, his wife, and his brother, me, Steven, another guy, and there were 4 in our party. We would take turns going up to get beer so nobody missed a whole lot of the game. We had a great time. Afterwards, we went across the street to Stan's. We had more beer. We had a great time. He's wearing his Red Sox gear. We got home safe. He lived in the floor above me in our apartment complex. And I said, Steve, are you still alive? Yeah. I said, I told you.
Yeah. You're fine, man.
It's the same. It's laundry love. Don't let a Sully or a Vinny get you down. This is fun. And it's always going to be fun. It's fun for him to fuck with me when the Red Sox beat the shit out of the Yankees. It's fun for me to fuck with him when the Yankees beat the shit out of the Red Sox. It's nothing more than laundry love. The person inside that jersey is not an asshole because he roots for the Red Sox and or the Yankees.
Right. Or any other team for that matter. It's just,
Oh, wait. I got a comment. The worst Vinnies are the 27 ring Vinnies. Thank you, Jennifer, for bringing that up. I have long said, and this man will back me up, you are only as good as your last season. I don't give a fuck if the Yankees won 147 fucking rings. If we didn't win last year, and if we don't win this year, It's all garbage. It's all about there's one champion and there's a list of losers behind him. And right now you're in position to be that champion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you lose, I have a feeling that in your mind, and I don't want to throw Brian into the mix, but Brian's another guy that does Yankees suck in the middle of every. Brian could be at a bar mitzvah and say Yankees suck, and I think he'd find it funny.
Oh, he loves it. Loves it.
How do you say a team sucks when they're fucking 100 wins? Stop. But Jen, real quick, say hi to Chris Ferrasi, my man. How does this continue? How do we continue to perpetrate the laundry love?
It's always going to be there.
But why? You and I get along great. The only time I think we piss each other off is on the one game a year between Michigan and Ohio State. Even then, we're good.
Yeah, we're fucking mouthy, but that's just,
But it's for 3 hours, and then for the other 364 days. And
I think if anything, we're making Zach more uncomfortable than anybody else.
You know what? Zach can kiss a bag of dicks. He's always late.
He's always late. Fucking always late. You better bring some fucking fluffy ducky fucking IPAs too.
Yes.
Fuzzy ducky fucking IPA. I swear to God, man. Otherwise, your useless ass is gonna sit outside while we eat hot wings and fucking cold beer.
Right. Oh, the Chief says hello. Thank you, Chief. Hope you're watching. Thank you.
But no, I just trying to let everybody know. Look, one of the biggest things about a rivalry is the excitement that these games bring.
Oh, it's always magic.
It's always.
Could be April, and if we play each other, it's the fucking World Series.
It's the best. It always is. And like I said, this last one, the ALDS, it was classic. It was another fucking classic that could have fucking went anywhere.
Do you remember the text message you sent me after the what was it? Cripes. You guys had a big win. You said the 2 touchdown game. I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Tomorrow's another day."
Yep.
And then we came back and won, and then you came back and won, and you won 2 straight, and you cleared it out. It's all in good fun.
No,
it's
absolutely,
sports.
Absolutely.
It's like I could look at a kid. I'll go back to NASCAR. I can look at a kid walking through the stands, which I took a picture of him 2 years ago. You remember from Charlotte, wearing a mock-up Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
And I am no fan of Kyle Busch, but if an 8-year-old kid thinks enough of Kyle Busch to wear this gimmick, I'm just going to say, you know what, kid? You're all right.
Yeah.
You're standing behind what you like. You're standing behind what you believe in, which is why if I go to Walmart and I see a kid decked out in Dustin Pedroia, you're standing behind what you believe in. You're a good person for that.
Yeah.
But don't judge me because I happen to be wearing the interlocking NY on my chest.
Well, like I said, unfortunately, there are going to be the people that are going to constantly do that. The rest of us, we enjoy this rivalry.
Sure.
The rest of us look forward to these games. The rest of us look forward
Except for Eddie. He's got a face. You got something to say, bro?
He doesn't like baseball.
You looked right at it.
What'd I do? I didn't see shit.
I'll put it back.
Go ahead. What did he say? He's going to put something back up. I got a 15-second delay on the video. So.
I know.
Fuck me.
I didn't look at it.
I didn't either. We were busy talking, which is our job.
No, you look right at the phone. That's what's so funny.
No, I was looking for comments. I didn't look at the fucking video. This is why you're the producer. You let us know what's going on, at which point, eat shit and live. You know what? I'll say this. You know what? This season, 100 wins or not, Yankees suck. You heard it here first.
Nah.
It's No, stop. It's championship or bust. You, as a Patriots fan, know this above all else. It's championship or bust. But Sully's and Vinny's alike, and he's going to agree with me, do not forget that there was a time where you were the redheaded stepchild of baseball that you lost. Every time you went out there, it was bullshit. You were 4th place, you were 3rd place, you were... When there were only two divisions.
2003 was our year. That was the year that
it got ruined.
No, it got it. Yeah, you guys pissed all over our party, man. One guy. One guy said, "I'm gonna piss all over your fucking shit, guys."
How hard is it? And let me ask, because I know who you are as a person. How hard is it for you to say 2003? We were the team to beat. You guys beat us, and you went on.
And you did it in dramatic fashion. You did it in dramatic
How
fashion.
hard is that for you to say?
No, I was was I pissed that night? Absolutely.
You want to ask the Sullys as much as I could ask the Vinnies this year? How hard is it for you to say, hey, we got bested by a better team?
Yeah. Do I respect fucking Boone for doing that? Absolutely. He lived the dream, man. I watched a man destroy himself. Roger Clemens, he literally picked himself apart. Like when that first when Millar hit that fucking home run on him, dude, that was it. And in his mind, he was beat. When Roger Clemens was coming off that mound, that was a defeated person. And he was talking about retiring next year. So was he going to leave his legacy as that game? Because that was a stain of a game. You know what I'm saying? But then he's also going to be thinking, can I do another 100 and fucking plus fucking games again next year? You know, it's got to be going through his brain. So now he's like, well, I just blew this.
Right.
Pedro Martinez is fucking absolutely on fire.
To show you that we're live, to show you that we are all in 1,000% right now. Game 1, Red Sox 1, Dodgers nothing.
I missed it, fucker.
I know, and you know, I appreciate your dedication to the craft. I do. Trust me.
That's why I don't even have my phone on right now because I don't want to be distracted.
Red Sox 1, Dodgers nothing.
Must have been Mookie.
Saying, I didn't look. I don't want to look. I just want to finish this out.
Hey, come on. One of our best shows was you sitting there just watching the Viking game while he talked.
Yeah, pretty much. Listening to every now and again.
Like, why?
Fuck this!
Why?
Why?
Please, God, why?
Why do you do this to me every freaking season? Yes, it
Saints.
was. I remember that. At the end of the day, if you had, let's say, Ed, you got a timer over there, or do you want to get your timer? Let's say 3 minutes. I'll get my timer. Fuck it. Let me get my timer. You have 3 minutes to address the Sullys.
I'm a Sully.
No, you're not. You are far from a Sully.
What would I say to my? Wait a minute. Are we saying what do I tell my asshole fan base?
Yes.
Or what do I tell your asshole fan base?
No.
My asshole fan base.
You are going to tell from your perspective in 3 minutes what to do, what not to do, etc. You have 3 minutes and go. Okay.
So Sully's, for you to be a decent human being and an actual good sports watcher, aka listener, also, you know, a person that goes to these games. Number 1, you must respect the other person regardless of the color of the laundry. If it helps, if you just ask them to wear white, you know, they do have that off gray one too. Then we all kind of wear that road gray. They can wear that road gray, and it won't affect your brain that hard. I understand pinstripes are really hard for you. I understand you don't allow even family members to wear pinstripes, even to weddings and stuff like that, which is fine. But you have to realize that it is just laundry and it's going to change. Number 2, you have to realize that as much as we are winning right now, they can still pull the 27 card, and you have to accept it. You can't sit there and bitch and moan and it's, oh my God, you're pulling the 27 card. They kind of can. I mean, so unless you don't want them to bring up the 27 card, don't force them to bring up the 27 card. Very simple. The third one, and this is very important, stick to like a clear alcohol. Don't go with that darker shit because then you just get idiotic and stupid, and then that's when the whole fucking bar fight.
No
thing
gin
happened.
either.
No, gin is terrible anyways. Who the fuck wants to drink gin? Jesus Christ. Snoop Dogg, that's who wants to drink gin. My last point that I have to make to you guys is very simple. Just because you paid for the ticket does not mean that you have any control over the person that just paid for his fucking ticket in the same stadium. I don't care if you are in Boston. I don't care if you're in Fenway. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in Rhode Island and you're just having a meal at Dave & Buster's with the Red Sox-Yankees game going on. You have no right whatsoever to infringe on another person's happiness. If they want to bring it to you, then you can bring it to them. It's very simple. I know you're not going to listen to any of this. I know you're going to continue on with your stubborn ways. I know you're going to continue to drink dark alcohol. And I know you're going to continue to be an asshole for anywhere and wearing the NYs. But that was just my way of letting you know how you can change and become a better baseball player, a.k.a. not a seller anymore.
All right, you beat it by 36 seconds. Well, I'm going to start my 3 minutes by saying, stop, Vinny, stop using the 27 card. You're only as good as your last season. And if you did not win the championship, you have no rights going forward. No bragging rights, no nothing. The season series, whether you win 10, we play 18 times a year. If you won 10-8 or whatever, if you split 9-9, whatever. If you win 11-7, it means nothing. It's the championship or bust. That's what every sports fan should want, is that their team wins a championship. If you're pulling 27 rings out of your ass and throwing that in a Red Sox fan's face, you, my friend, are a Vinny. You need to stop. This team has come up so far in the last 18 years that it boggles my mind, because I thought they would bury me, and my kids and my grandkids would be looking over my grave going, "Hey, Grandpa, the Red Sox finally won a World Series." But it didn't happen. I got to see it in 2004, and then in 2007, and then in 2013. Second, every Red Sox fan is not an asshole. Many are. And he'll say the same thing about the Yankees. Many Yankee fans are assholes. Many Red Sox fans are assholes. Get to know the person underneath the laundry, because I could be wearing, I don't know.
All vote for Hillary.
Exactly. I could be wearing an Eazy-E t-shirt. I could be wearing a Kiss t-shirt. I could be wearing a Nickelback t-shirt. God willing, I'll never wear a Nickelback
No,
t-shirt.
you do that, you get your ass kicked.
Right. But
true.
At the same time, the person underneath the laundry is still a fucking person. Don't judge them by what laundry they wear. Judge them by the content of their character. Third, and maybe most important, this is not war. This is baseball. This is not the United States versus Iraq. This is not the Klingons versus whoever the Klingons face. Federation. Thank you. This is not the rebellion versus the dark side or whatever. It's
Empire.
Fucking baseball. Much like football. Much like basketball. It's sports. It's meant to be entertainment for us. Let it go. Stop being fucking retarded and just let yourself go and enjoy what is put in front of you.
Mama says foosball is the devil.
I'm sure she does, because that's what Mama does. Now, having said that, we're going to close this out. I didn't get your top 2 rivalry moments.
Well, obviously, I've been talking about it the whole time. 2003 is one of my, it's still to this day, one of my favorites.
Aaron Boone?
Like I said,
Favorites?
Yeah.
Well, then again, I did throw out the
Red
Sox.
For me, because like I said, that was a complete team. And, at that point, it gave us the 2004 team.
Mm-hmm.
It smacked us.
Yeah.
It smacked us silly. It made us realize. Look,
it
dude,
created the idiots.
Yeah, exactly. It made us realize.
And if you think I'm fucking around, go buy Johnny Damon's book called. Wait a minute, I read it.
Idiot. Yeah, that's what they call them. A bunch of idiots. These guys were the chicken and beer
We're the
fucking
right
guys.
idiots to do the job.
No, I'm sorry. Chicken and beer guys were the 49 and 96 or no 69 wins.
No shit. No.
That wasn't too far ago, man.
It wasn't.
It was like 2007 or no 2006. 2006. Yes. Right before the 2007 fucking win. That was fucking.
That was the overhaul.
That was we did the chicken and beer fucking crew. Oh my god, dude. Fucking. Anyways, it taught us to be humble. It taught us, because like I said, here we are. To be the man, you got to beat the man. We're in New York. We're finally on the verge of doing it. Pedro was unstoppable.
He was amazing.
He was fucking unstoppable.
Here, look, as a Yankee fan, I'm watching that game, and Grady Little comes out. Grady Little is the manager. Grady Little is the boss, and Pedro shakes him off.
Mm-hmm.
Grady Little should have said, "No, Petey, give me the ball. We'll finish this for you."
Yep.
Grady Little walked away. Grady Little in 2003 deserved to lose his job. Pedro Martinez lost that series for you.
Of course he did. Absolutely. But more importantly, his ego did. And a good manager will never let a player's ego supersede the team.
But move forward to 2004. Pedro was on fire.
Oh no, he was the same.
Fire.
Exactly. Like I said, there was just between Pedro throwing the 80-year-old freaking manager down on the freaking ground.
Thank you, because a lot of people will say, "Oh no, he just sidestepped him." No, he
No,
threw
he
that
threw him.
fucking
He
fat
threw
old
him.
man
No, that's
on
the
the
reason.
fucking turf.
Why do you think Pedro Martinez needed a police escort into Yankee Stadium? Because he threw an 80-year-old man on the ground. Fucking
He
New
could have
York.
whooped that man's ass 6 ways to Sunday. He threw him on the
He
ground.
had death threats. People wanted to kill Pedro. It was, and you know what?
Thank you, because there's a lot of Sullys out there who will not agree with you.
Oh, no,
but you're wearing the red and white and blue
said it
bee
before.
gimmick
Said
on
it
your
before,
thing.
man. He threw the old man down. But like I said, his ego got in the way, and maybe that was karma. Maybe that was karma's little way of saying, "Hey, fuck you. You thought you were that good? Yeah, well, you just fucking blew it there, buddy." You know. Like I said, it was humility over action. I was one of those people that was dancing. I'm like, yeah, you're feeling it, you get in the moment. And then you hear that crack, and then you hear, it's fine, I left, it's going, it could go, oh my God, and Boone has done it. He has upset the Red Sox, a walk-off, can you believe it? And all you see is just bags being packed.
I was at Yankee Stadium one time for a mid-season game, July, and I couldn't hold it anymore. 10 innings, Red Sox, Yankees. I gotta piss myself. I go down, I'm pissing myself, and you hear two things. Because they mic a lot of the field at Yankee Stadium. You'll know this if you go to the stadium. You hear the crack of the bat. And then you hear two things. You hear the stunned silence. You hear 55,000 seats as people stand up. You hear thump.
And then a roar.
Sam fucking Horn. I'm sorry, Mo Vaughn. Mo Vaughn hits a moonshot that I don't think has landed to this day. This is 2002. I'm in the bathroom at Yankee Stadium, pissing myself. Yankees are up by 3. Somehow, in between me leaving my seat and going to the bathroom, pissing myself and hearing thunk, which is 55,000 seats flipping up, they load the bases. Mo Vaughn hits a grand slam to end the game. There's that moment, and if you're that pitcher for the other team and you hear that and your team just won, there's a certain magic, a majesty. And for me, sitting there holding little Chris in my hand, peeing myself, and hearing 55,000 seats go to the upright position, and then hearing, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
I know we just lost. I run. I'm not even done peeing. I just put little Chris away. I run back to my seat. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Mo Vaughn just hit a grand slam. It's over. We're done. We're going home. Fuck.
Been there.
Fuck.
And last one, my last favorite is, it's got to be 2013. We were there. Big Poppy Moonshots, grand slam, walk off. Fucking, oh God, it sends us to the fucking World Series, dude.
I got a comment I got to read to you. Jennifer says, I went to Game 7 in 2004, and since the Yanks lost, Chris won't let me go to any more playoff games. You're damn right. You're damn right. Unless it's Game 1 or 2, Jen, you are not allowed to go anywhere.
Let me tell you, that game, and before we wrap this up, Game 7
was a blowout.
It was absolutely.
With the exception of 19-8 and Game 7, which I think the Red Sox won 8-1. Jen, you might want to help me on this.
Yeah.
Every game was 2 runs, like close.
Yeah.
That's what this rivalry is.
Yeah.
This is like, again, Rocky Apollo. It's down to the wire.
That's why, you know what, when
rounds.
people were freaking out just this past fucking the ALDS, and we scored like fucking 14 points, and people were like
16-2.
Yeah, 16 exactly. People were like, holy shit, dude, this is incredible. No, dude, that's called a fluke.
It's
like,
what we do.
No, it's called a fluke, and it doesn't happen all the fucking time.
Do you remember back when we first started this? It was like episode 4. No, it was episode 9. We were getting ready to interview Nathan Hunt.
Yeah.
The night before was Red Sox Yankees. It's in the middle of fucking June. 17 innings. I roll into your place where we recorded at the time. We're like, they can't do this to us. They can't keep doing this to us. We're gonna fucking die. We're not young kids anymore. 17 innings.
I went to a game. I think it was 22 innings. Yankees. I literally went from Boston right back to Hartford where my car was and went right into work.
Right to work.
Right to fucking work, man. It was insane.
The only time I ever left a game early was Fenway Park. 15 innings, Yankees Red Sox. The image goes up on the screen. The last tee leaves in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm parked in Framingham. Well, shit, I got to leave. Yankees come back, win the game. I missed it because I didn't drive myself all the way into Boston like I should.
That's what we always do.
Pay the $25.
Yeah,
Fuck
do
it.
Do it.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah, you don't want to have to catch that fucking shit.
I remember being 8 years old and my dad taking us, and I'm a Yankee fan, and everybody else in the family is a Red Sox fan. We went to Red Sox Angels, like I gave a fuck, but it's baseball. I'll go watch. You know this. I've gone and watched
Fuck yeah.
Red Sox Orioles, Red Sox Royals, Red Sox whatever. I'll do it again next year. And score's tied. It's in the 11th. My dad's like, we need to beat traffic. We need to leave. As we're driving out of Boston, we're getting on the causeway, and we're listening on the radio. This is how old I am, kids. Rick Miller hits a 2-run home run to put the Red Sox ahead of the Angels, and my dad is F this and kiss my stuff and stick it and all this bullshit. And we're in our own car. And I'm thinking to myself at 9, 10 years old, maybe you should have stayed.
Maybe.
Which is why I don't leave a game unless that one game at Fenway where I parked in Framingham, took the tee, go to Boston, find yourself a nice fucking parking spot, pay the $25. If you're going to go in style. Go to Sal's. Is it Sal's?
Oh, love Sal's.
Go to Sal's, get some pizza, go into the ballpark, have a good time. When Loki or Brian does the bus trip, go. Do the thing. I had so much fun at Fenway Park, no matter how much I hate the Red Sox. And again, it's not laundry love.
Nope.
I'm a Yankee fan. I don't hate the Red Sox.
Nope, absolutely, man. That's what this whole show is about. You guys realize
go do the bus trip.
Yeah, just take the time. There's nothing better than a game. If you just do yourself one favor next year. Obviously, you're not going to do it now, although there might be a chance I'm going to game 2.
Oh, that's not going to be on a recording night, is it? No, it'll be tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Good job. Send pictures.
Oh fuck yeah.
Do a live video for the Loki Jabroni faithful.
I plan on it. But anyways, do yourself a favor. Go catch a game, man. You can get decently priced tickets. You really can. Even if it's a team that you don't normally want to see, just to save money and go up and enjoy Boston. It's
Absolutely.
Funny. Somebody wrote.
Same with New York.
Yeah, somebody wrote. Boston's a cesspool. What is it?
Who said that?
It was on Twitter. You know how these people. are.
Whatever.
Somebody was like, Boston, that thing's a piece of shit. The stadium, the seats don't even face the thing.
Horse shit.
There's some pretty bad seats there. I ain't gonna lie.
Horse shit.
There's some pretty bad seats there.
When we first started this, I went up for the Hailstorm concert with the Eternal Flame.
They do concerts.
And we went to this bar and they lifted up their thing. They said, "You want to see the outfield?" I'm like, "Well, I've been here before." Like, no. Do you want to see the outfield from this perspective?
Yeah.
And they raised up the thing. I did the live video. You'll remember it. I'm like, this is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This is a historic ballpark, and much like Yankee Stadium, guys, if you're not a Yankee fan, just go to a game, wear like whatever T-shirt you want to wear, wear whatever sweatshirt you want to wear. Go to Yankee Stadium. Absorb the history.
They brought a lot of that history over. They really did. Yeah.
I'm not beating the shit out of this guy. He's not beating the shit out of me. It's all about the love of the game. And if you're a Vinny or if you're a Sully, you really need to rethink your position.
1901. We've been doing this, people. Since 1901. This game is bigger than any one of us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think for 1 second that you are bigger than this rivalry, you're not, sir.
All right, real quick before we close out, I got a couple announcements, but right now Matt Kemp just homered. Sox are up 2-1 in the bottom of the second.
Yay!
Again, Sox in 7. I'm over exaggerating my pick because I think they're going to do it in 5, but I have to be faithful to my Yanks. But I also have to be true to the American League East. I think it's going to be a 7-game series. What is your pick?
I think
don't say Sox in 4 because I'll punch you.
They're sweeping them.
Oh, Christ. Anyway,
I knew we wouldn't be able to get through this episode without violence.
I punched him. You guys saw it.
Show is over.
This is why the YouTube channel is important.
Go
to YouTube.com.
I said it earlier. 4.
Go to youtube.com, subscribe to the channel, and watch what we do on Tuesday nights.
We talked about it on a Corey spot.
Yes, we did.
We've owned freaking LA since they've come in. So that's why I said
since the interleague play.
Right. We've owned them. I mean, they've had a couple of them, but the late dude, it took me forever to fucking find them. It's fucking because they hardly ever meet. They hardly ever fucking meet. You want to find Yankees Dodgers all fucking day long. Red Sox fucking Dodgers, man. Forget it. Like it took me forever to find that fucking bullshit. And the only reason why I knew is because 2015 we went to the series. Brian went to the first game. Then he had tickets to the second game, and he almost got tickets to the third game, and we swept them, which is why I knew that whole fucking every time we faced them so far, it's been a sweep. And if we do it this time, it would be the fourth time that we sweep them and the fourth time that we've met them. Well, recently, obviously we met them way before that. But anyways, guys, we want to thank each and every one of you guys for listening. Please do us a favor and donate to the Patreon site if you feel so inclined to get us some new happy equipment. Make sure you go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the little bell, which is a notification, and it lets you know when we are live or special videos pop up. You won't miss it. So what happens is your phone will get this little icon. It's usually a YouTube thing. Goes boop, and you hit that button, and boom, instantly you are right where we are.
Right.
You can't miss it, man. As always, just share us, love us, and buy some shit from our freaking many affiliates. Go to the LokiandJabroni.com page.
A couple things that I have. You obviously know the C&J Speed Review. We're going to be recording live Championship Sunday, November 18th. Hopefully Eddie got the memo. And we're going to be doing it live from the Azarju Mini Mansion in Uncasville, Connecticut. You can watch live as Corey and I watch the race together. First time ever in C&J Speedway Review history that we're in the same room together recording the show, and we're going to break it down. Now,
it's a day after my birthday.
Exactly.
It's a day after the
What's special about that is there's going to be football going on. So the Falcons will be over here, Patriots will be over here, Vikings will be over here. Everybody's going to have, and Loki might make a special surprise appearance on the C&J Speedway Review. It's going to be fun. Check us out tomorrow night. We're going to be breaking down Kansas. 2nd, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I went to pick up some mattresses the other day. I went to a gas station. They had a little gimmick outside. I donated $5. They gave me this fantastic t-shirt, Real Men Rock Pink. Please don't forget, as Loki said last week, please donate as much as you can, because this is something that all of our women, and we're all men here, so all of our women have a particular, there's a scare. It could happen to anybody. Please donate what you can. When you see somebody out there asking for donations, asking for donations for breast cancer awareness, please donate.
Save the tatas.
Save the tatas, because guys, we love the tatas. I love my woman's tatas.
We should put out that men can get breast cancer too.
Yes, they can.
Absolutely.
Peter Criss.
It's rare, but it happens.
Yep.
I could bring that up. I could say Peter Criss, he had breast cancer. Drummer for Kiss.
Yep.
Next week, we're going to have Jeff Howard in-house. Hopefully, we're going to have Jonathan Beck on the phone. We're going to break down next week the first ever all-women's WWE pay-per-view, Evolution. And we're going to give our scores from 5 to 1. Is this a 5 match? Is this a 1 match? Is this whatever? Our report card. This is history. And this is amazing. And as the father of a daughter and a stepdaughter, this is something that I hope my stepchild really embraces. This is the forward momentum that women have needed for years. Not just in sports, but in sports entertainment, wrestling, etc., so forth.
Very true.
And with the amount of talent that the WWE has on the woman's side,
oh God,
this
insane.
Might eclipse any pay-per-view this year.
It might. That's some bold statement, but you might be dead right about that one, man.
I think so.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, looking forward to it. Make sure you guys tune in next week. It's gonna be fucking fantastic.
Mike's got to get home and watch the game, guys. Just if you're listening on audio only, it doesn't mean anything. If you're on YouTube, turn it off. Sox in 7.